Welcome back, everyone. Before we dive in, make sure you drop your thoughts and the lessons you took from this story in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it. My name is Jared Whitfield. I am 29 years old. I received the message at 4:47 p.m. on a Thursday while I was in the office break room staring at a vending machine that always ate dollar bills. 3 years together, and my phone lit up with a text from my girlfriend, Alana Brooks. Hey, I have been thinking a lot lately. We need to take a step back. I'm not ready for something serious right now. I need to figure some things out. I sat there, the hum of the refrigerator loud in the silence, my coffee getting cold on the table in front of me, and I did not even notice. Not ready for something serious. After living in my apartment 5 nights a week for 18 months. After meeting both sets of parents. After she cried when her mother, Patricia, was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I drove her 4 hours from Dallas to Houston at 2 o'clock in the morning so she could sit by the hospital bed. Not ready for something serious. I stared at the words until they blurred, then typed back. Understood. Let's take that step. My thumb hovered for a second over the send button, but I did not add anything else. No questions. No begging for clarification. No long paragraphs about feelings. I press send, put the phone face down on the table, and finished the last 2 hours of my shift on autopilot. Coworkers tried to talk to me, and I nodded at the right moments without remembering what they said. At some point, my supervisor, Mr. Franklin, walked past, looked like he might ask something, then thought better of it, and kept moving. By the time I clocked out and drove home, the sky over Dallas had gone from pale blue to orange, and my apartment complex parking lot was half full of cars that all looked exactly the same. I walked up the stairs with the text still echoing in my head, like someone tapping a glass with a spoon. When I opened my apartment door, Alana's presence was everywhere. Her makeup bag was on my bathroom counter, open, brushes scattered like she had just stepped out to grab something. Her laptop sat on my kitchen table, next to a half-empty notebook and a mug with lipstick on the rim. Her work-from-home setup filled my spare bedroom. Ring light, monitor, ergonomic chair she insisted she needed for her back. Her clothes took up half my closet, hangers in colors I did not own, dresses I never saw her wear, jackets she claimed she needed just in case. Her shoes were lined up under the window, heels and boots and sneakers that had slowly appeared over months. The stupid diffuser she loved, the one that made the entire place smell like eucalyptus and lavender, puffed out a thin stream of mist from the corner of the living room. 3 years of her gradually moving in without ever officially moving in, and now she was not ready for something serious. I stood in the middle of the living room and could almost hear her voice from 100 little ghosts of conversations. The time she laughed and said, "We basically live together. Why are you still paying for 2 streaming services?" The way she had thrown her keys on my counter after a long day and said, "This place feels more like home than mine." The night she sat on my couch wearing my t-shirt, hair wrapped, and whispered, "I feel safe here." I pulled my phone out of my pocket and scrolled up to her message again. We need to take a step back. Maybe she expected a conversation. Maybe she expected me to argue, to tell her she was overthinking, to reassure her. Instead, I called my friend Reggie Moore, who worked in property management and always knew where to find a place to store things, including emotions if that were billable. "Reggie, I need a storage unit," I said as soon as he answered. My voice sounded flat, even to me. "Storage unit," Reggie said. "For what? You planning to start a side business or something?" "For Alana's things," I said. "My girlfriend just pulled the I need space card. All of her things have to go." There was a pause on the other end. "Jared, maybe you should sleep on that. People say things when they are stressed. Talk to her first." "She told me she is not ready for something serious after 3 years," I said. "She wants a step back. I am just making sure we take a full one." Reggie sighed. "All right, I can get you a 10 by 10 unit at the facility on Riverside Drive. About $140 a month. First month free with an annual lease." "Perfect. I will take it," I said. "Can they have it ready tomorrow morning?" "I will set it up for 9 o'clock, Reggie said. "But Jared, think about what you are doing. This is not a small gesture. I am thinking more clearly than I have in a long time," I said, and ended the call. I slept badly, or more accurately, I lay awake staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment I could remember where Alana had hinted at something like this. The time at a friend's engagement party, when she joked, "Do not get any ideas," after I caught the bouquet for her on reflex. The night we talked about children, and she said, "Someday, but I do not want to feel trapped." I thought about the afternoon I had gone into a jewelry store downtown and spent an hour looking at rings while a sales associate named Mr. Jacobs asked gentle questions about her style. That part of my brain felt distant and stupid now, like it belonged to a different person. At 7 the next morning, I got out of bed, made coffee, and walked through the apartment with a notepad, making a list of every single item that belonged to her. I did not rush. I opened drawers, checked shelves, looked under the bed. If it was hers, it went on the list. At 9 o'clock sharp on Friday, I pulled up to the storage facility on Riverside Drive in my truck. The air was already warm, and the asphalt radiated heat. The attendant handed me a contract and a code and pointed me to Unit 247. The metal door rattled when I rolled it up, revealing an empty concrete space that smelled faintly of dust and motor oil. I stood in the doorway for a second, thinking about how much of my last 3 years was about to be boxed up and labeled miscellaneous household items. Then I drove back to my apartment and began packing. I started in the bathroom. Her makeup bag, hair products, the flat iron, the silk bonnet she kept in the drawer. I found old lipstick she had not used in ages, hair ties on the counter, lotion she kept on my side of the sink. All of it went into boxes. In the bedroom, I pulled her dresses from my closet, folded her jeans, stacked her t-shirts, and carefully placed her shoes in another box. I even found a fuzzy sock she wore in winter stuffed behind a storage bin. The living room took longer because it felt more like her territory than mine. The diffuser went into a box, along with the essential oil bottles she lined up like trophies. The throw blankets she had brought, the decorative candles, the collection of pillows that served no purpose except to make the couch look better and to end up on the floor every night when we tried to sit down like normal people. Her favorite coffee table books that she never quite finished reading, the cookbook she bought and never opened, the framed photos of us at her parents' house, at my parents' cookout, at the beach in Galveston the first summer we dated. I kept copies of the digital versions of those pictures, but the printed frames went to the unit. In the spare bedroom, I disassembled her work-from-home space, taking down the ring light and wrapping the cords, lifting the monitor she insisted was better than mine, placing everything in neatly labeled boxes. It took 6 hours, 2 trips to the storage unit, and the kind of focus I usually reserve for work emergencies. By 4 o'clock that afternoon, I was standing in Unit 247 looking at Alana's life arranged in a careful grid. Boxes were stacked by category: clothes, bathroom items, electronics, sentimental things. Her shoes lined up along one wall. The diffuser sat on top of a box like it had been demoted. I pulled out my phone and took pictures from several angles, making sure the date and timestamp were visible. I locked the unit, double-checked the code, and drove home. When I opened my apartment door, the silence hit me first. The space looked larger, emptier, more echo than voice. Eucalyptus was gone. The counters were bare. The closet was mine again. It did not feel good, exactly, but it felt clean. At 5 o'clock, I called a locksmith. "I want to change the locks today," I said. "How soon can you come?" The locksmith arrived an hour later, a quiet man who did not ask questions. He replaced the lock cylinder and handed me 2 new keys. $290, he said. I paid without hesitation. Worth every cent. Around 6 o'clock, my phone buzzed. "Alana, hey, do you want to grab dinner?" I took a breath and replied, "I cannot. I am busy." She responded almost immediately. "Tomorrow then? We should talk." I wrote, "About what?" There was a pause. "About us." About what I said. I stared at the screen. "You said you need space." I typed, "I'm giving you space." A few seconds later, I meant emotionally, not physically. Laugh out loud. I read that twice and felt something inside me harden. "Everything you own is in a storage unit on Riverside Drive," I wrote. Unit 247. This is the address and the code. The rent is paid for next month. The 3 dots appeared as she typed. Disappeared. Appeared again. Finally, "What is this? What do you mean you moved my things out?" I answered, "You said step back." You cannot get more step back than separate living situations. She replied, I did not mean break up. I sent. Then you should have been clearer. You said you were not ready for something serious. I accept that. The storage unit gives you time to figure things out. Her answer came fast. This is insane. I wrote, no. This is respecting your boundaries. Then I put my phone on the counter and walked away. The phone rang 30 seconds later. I let go to voicemail. It rang again. Voicemail. Again and again. 14 calls in 2 hours. I did not answer any of them. I made dinner, washed dishes, and turned on a game I did not watch. The calls eventually stopped, replaced by voicemail notifications. Around 10 o'clock, I sat on the edge of my bed and finally listened. The first message was sharp. Jared, what in the world are you doing? Call me back right now. The fourth one had more frustration. You are being ridiculous. I just needed some breathing room. By the ninth one, her voice had shifted to something between anger and panic. Fine. Be petty if you want, but you're going to regret this. You are throwing away something real over a misunderstanding. The last one was quiet, her voice shaking. I did not mean it like this. I did not mean for you to push me out. Please call me back. I deleted them all without saving any. Then I turned off my phone, lay down, and slept harder than I had in weeks. 3 weeks passed. In that time, I relearned what my apartment sounded like with just one toothbrush in the bathroom and one pillow on the bed. I started cooking for one again, stopped buying almond milk because that was her preference, and put my old, less aesthetic but more comfortable comforter back on the bed. The entitlement did not take 3 weeks to show up, though. The weekend after I moved her things, she came to my building. I was on the couch when I heard the buzzer. I checked the intercom. It is me, Alana said. We need to talk. I replied, no, we do not. She snapped, let me in, Jared. I said, you are not ready for something serious. Something serious will be having access to my apartment. There was a long pause. Stop throwing my words back at me, she said. I am just respecting what you said. I answered. After that, I hung up the intercom. She stayed in the lobby for almost an hour. My building manager, Mrs. Hughes, eventually called me. Jared, your friend has been sitting down here for a while, she said. She says she just needs a conversation. I replied, she is not my girlfriend anymore. You can ask her to leave. Mrs. Hughes sighed, but did as I asked. By Tuesday, Alana's best friend, Latoya Green, started calling. I recognized the number, let it ring, and ignored every call. Latoya left voicemails that sounded like she had been rehearsing them in front of a mirror. Jared, she is a mess. She did not mean to break up. Why are you acting like this? She said in one. Do you know how rare it is to find someone you connect with like this, and you're throwing it away because she worded one message badly? She said in another. She made one mistake. After the fifth voicemail, I blocked her number. On Wednesday, my phone buzzed with a group text invitation. When I opened it, I saw 7 people. Alana's sister, Candace, her mother, Patricia, her best friend, Latoya from a different number, and 3 of her cousins, plus one number I did not recognize. Candace wrote first. We are having a family meeting. You need to understand what you are doing to her. Patricia followed. She has not eaten in days. She is depressed. She stays in bed. One cousin wrote, 3 years and you bail over a text. That is cold-blooded. Messages poured in, 23 in total, full of accusations, emotional appeals, and dramatic statements about love and commitment. I read every message carefully, not because I felt guilty, but because I wanted to know exactly how far they would go. Finally, I wrote one response. She told me she was not ready for something serious after 3 years. I believed her. That is all that happened. Then I left the group chat. 10 minutes later, my phone rang from a number I had never seen. Against my better judgment, I answered. Hello. Do not hello me, Patricia said, her tone sharp. You need to stop this childish behavior. Ma'am, I began, keeping my voice even. Your daughter. Do not call me ma'am like I am a stranger, Patricia interrupted. She loves you. She made a small mistake, and you are punishing her. Relationships are not perfect. It was not small to me, I said. She was not forced to send that message. She chose those words. She did not say she was scared. She said she was not ready. She was scared, Patricia insisted. You do not throw away 3 years because someone gets scared. She did not tell me she was scared. I replied. If she had, we could have talked. Instead, She told me she needed to take a step back because she was not ready. I respected that. You are being cruel, Patricia said. Heartless. I'm being honest, I said. There is a difference. Then I hung up and blocked that number as well. On Thursday night, there was a knock on my door. I looked through the peephole and saw Alana's father, Leonard, standing in the hallway. He held his hands in his pockets, shoulders tense. I did not open the door. Jared, I know you are in there, he said. Your car is outside. I remained silent, leaning my forehead briefly against the door. I am not leaving until we talk, he said. I waited. 10 minutes passed. Then 20. After 30 minutes, I heard his footsteps move down the hallway and the soft click of the stairwell door closing. The next day at work, my stomach dropped when my boss, Mr. Franklin, called me into his office. He shut the door behind me slowly. I received an interesting call today from someone who said, "She is your girlfriend's mother," he said, steepling his fingers. Oh no, I said quietly. She told me you were having some kind of breakdown. Mr. Franklin continued. She asked if I had noticed any concerning behavior at work and whether you needed help. I am very sorry that she involved you, I said. My girlfriend and I broke up 3 weeks ago. She asked for space. Her family is not handling it well. I am fine. They're trying to involve my job for leverage. Mr. Franklin studied me for a moment. I told her that I cannot discuss employees with third parties, he said. But I wanted to make sure there is nothing going on that would affect your performance. There is nothing, I said. I'm showing up, doing my job, and going home. He nodded. If anyone contacts this office again regarding your personal life, I will document it as harassment and inform corporate. Does that help? Yes, sir, I said. Thank you. Good, he said. Now go back to work, Jared. And next time, try to keep your drama from finding my phone number. I almost smiled at that. Outside his office, I exhaled for what felt like the first time that day. The line between my personal life and my professional life had always been clear. Alana's family trying to step over it felt like someone scratching a line in fresh paint with a key. The real damage began that Saturday. I was at the grocery store checkout line, placing items on the belt, when I heard, "You really have some nerve." I turned and saw LaToya standing there, hands on the handle of her cart, blocking my path. She wore gym clothes and looked like she had come there specifically to be angry. "Excuse me," I said. "No, I will not excuse you," LaToya said, stepping closer. "Do you have any idea what you have done to her?" "I move on with my life," I said. "That is what people do after breakups." "She is falling apart," LaToya said. "She has lost 12 pounds. She cries constantly. She barely sleeps. She keeps replaying that text and your response." "That is unfortunate," I said. "Unfortunate," LaToya repeated, incredulous. "That is all you have to say? What exactly do you want me to say?" I asked. She told me she was not ready for something serious after 3 years. I respected that. I did what her words asked me to do. "She did not mean it like that," LaToya said. "You know she did not." "Then she should have used different words," I replied. "Words mean things." LaToya glared at me. "You are such an uncaring person," she said. "Maybe," I said, placing my items in bags, "but at least I am straightforward." I paid for my groceries and walked with my cart toward the exit. LaToya followed me into the parking lot. "You know what?" she said. "She was right about you. You never opened up. You never shared your feelings. You were emotionally unavailable. That is why she needed space." Her words actually made me stop. I turned to face her. "So, she needed space from someone who does not share feelings by staying with me for 3 years. I said. "That is the story you're going with." "People can change," LaToya said. She realized she needed more. "Yes," I said. "People can change." Which is exactly why I changed my locks and my storage situation. I pushed the car to my truck, loaded the bags, and drove off. In my rearview mirror, I saw LaToya standing in the lane, arms folded, shaking her head like she had just watched someone walk away from a winning lottery ticket. I thought that would be the end of that particular encounter. I was wrong. When I pulled into my apartment parking garage, something fell off. I parked, stepped out, and saw it. A long, jagged scratch carved into the passenger side of my car, running from the front door to the back. The paint was peeled back in a harsh silver line. I crouched down and traced the air above it with my finger without touching it. Some scratches are careless. This one was deliberate. I went straight to the building office and asked about the security cameras in the garage. Mrs. Hughes pulled up the footage. We watched silently as the timestamp showed 3:27 p.m., the exact time I had been inside the grocery store. The camera captured Alana walking up to my car, keys visible in her hand, dragging them along the side before walking away. No hesitation, no looking around, just a straight, practiced motion. I filed a police report that afternoon. The officer at the station, a calm man with a notepad, asked basic questions. "Do you know the person in the video?" he asked. "Yes," I said. "She is my ex-girlfriend, Alana Brooks. She recently moved out, and there has been ongoing tension." "Estimated damage?" he asked. I had already taken the car for a quote. $800, I said. "That is the repair estimate." We completed the paperwork. As soon as I left the station, I called Alana. She answered on the first ring. "Oh, thank God," she said. "You finally called." You keep my car," I said, cutting her off. Silence. "I have video footage from the parking garage," I continued. "I have filed charges. An officer will be contacting you." I was angry, Alana said, her voice rising. "You moved all my things out like I was nothing. Do you know how that felt? Like you erased me. And now you're going to pay for a new paint job," I said. "Actions have consequences." "Please do not do this," she said. "It was just a scratch. We can work this out. We just need to talk." I replied, "It is not just a scratch. It is property damage. It is called criminal mischief. It is a misdemeanor. You will probably get probation and a fine, but that is not my concern. You made a choice." Then I ended the call. 15 minutes later, Patricia called from yet another number. "How could you do this to her?" she shouted as soon as I answered. "You are destroying her life over a scratch on a car. That is not even a real crime." "It is criminal mischief," I said calmly. "It is a misdemeanor under state law. You can look it up. She damaged my property intentionally." She was upset, Patricia said. "Look at everything you have done to her. You pushed her out of the apartment. You ignored her calls. And now you want to drag her through the legal system? She is already fragile." "She was not too fragile to walk into a garage and drag her keys down the side of my car," I said. "I am not discussing this further." "You are destroying her," Patricia said. "She is destroying her own image and reputation," I replied. "I'm just documenting it." I hung up and blocked that number as well. Sunday was quiet, and the silence felt heavy, like the eye of a storm. Monday morning, I opened my mailbox and saw an envelope from a law office with my name written neatly on the front. I took it upstairs, sat at my kitchen table, and opened it. Inside was a demand letter. According to the letter, Alana was requesting the return of all gifts given during the relationship, with an estimated value of $4,200. She was also requesting $5,000 in compensation for emotional distress, the return of an $800 key deposit from when she had lived in my apartment, and reimbursement for shared expenses totaling $12,100. The language was formal, full of phrases like, "In the interest of resolving this matter amicably," and "failure to comply may result in legal action." I read it twice, then actually laughed out loud, a short, humorless sound that bounced off my now empty walls. I called my friend Shelby, who worked as a paralegal for a firm across town. "Shelby, I received a demand letter from a lawyer representing Alana," I said. "She wants gifts back, emotional distress money, deposits, shared expenses. The total is over $12,000. Shelby asked me to read the key sections. When I finished, she exhaled sharply. "This is garbage," she said. "She was never on your lease, correct?" "Correct," I said. "She never signed anything. I paid all the rent and utilities." "Then she has no claim to deposits," Shelby said. "And gifts are gifts. There is no legal requirement to return them unless they were conditional, like an engagement ring given in specific circumstances. Emotional distress for a breakup she initiated? There is no judge who will take this seriously in a standard civil court without significant evidence of something extreme. She's trying to scare you into giving her money. So I should ignore it." I asked. "No," Shelby said. "You should hire a lawyer and have them respond. If you ignore it, she might escalate with something even more frivolous. This is harassment. A firm letter back is the right move." Tuesday morning, I contacted an attorney named Kevin Robinson, recommended by one of Shelby's colleagues. I met him in his office, a quiet building with a plant in the corner that looked too healthy to be real. He listened while I explained the entire situation, from the text message to the storage unit, the keyed car, and the demand letter. He asked calm, precise questions, took notes, and then slid a retainer agreement across the desk. The retainer was $1,500. I signed it. Her demands have no legal foundation, Attorney Robinson said. I will send a response that makes that clear. 2 days later, he sent me a draft of his letter before mailing it. It read, in part, "Our client respectfully declines all demands. There is no legal basis for the return of gifts exchanged during a dating relationship. Ms. Brooks was never a tenant, and therefore has no claim to deposits related to the apartment. Emotional distress claims arising from the termination of a standard romantic relationship are frivolous. If this matter is pursued further, we will file a counterclaim for malicious prosecution and seek attorney's fees." The letter went out on Thursday. There was radio silence until Saturday afternoon. Then Attorney Robinson called. "I just spoke with her lawyer," he said. "She is dropping all claims for money and property, except for certain items she says have sentimental value. She wants to confirm that she can retrieve them." "What items?" I asked. "A family photo album, her grandmother's necklace, and a laptop," he said. "All three are in the storage unit," I said. "I documented everything when I moved it. I have photos. The laptop is in a padded case in one of the boxes. She already has the code and the address." I told her lawyer that, Attorney Robinson said. He then said she is afraid to go to the storage unit alone. I replied that this is not our problem. I thanked him and ended the call. The legal part of this could have ended there. It did not, because Alana and her circle were determined to treat my boundaries as suggestions rather than decisions. The following Wednesday, LaToya tried a new approach. I had just finished a set on the bench press at my gym when I saw her reflection in the mirror behind me. She was standing near the stretching area, watching me. I racked the weights and wiped my hands on a towel. When I turned, she walked over. "Can we talk, please?" LaToya asked. "How did you know I go to this gym?" I asked. "She told me," LaToya said. "She said this is your spot after work. So now you are tracking my routine." I said, "That is not appropriate." "I'm not stalking you," LaToya said quickly. "I just wanted to see you in person where you cannot ignore my calls. She's not doing well. Really not doing well. You could fix this by just talking to her." "Why would I do that?" I asked. "Because you loved her," LaToya said. "Loved," I corrected. Past tense. She ended it. I accepted that. I'm simply following through. LaToya shifted her weight. She was scared, she said. She was scared of commitment, of marriage, of everything moving too fast. She panicked. Scared of what exactly? I asked. Scared of me. Scared of what the next step meant, LaToya said. She might have heard that you were looking at rings. My chest tightened. Who told her that? I asked. Does it matter? LaToya asked. It does, I said. LaToya hesitated, then looked down. Her brother's friend works at that jewelry store downtown, she said quietly. He saw you there and mentioned it. She heard about it, and it made everything feel too real. I remembered that afternoon clearly. I had walked into the store on my lunch break 4 months before the breakup. I had sat with Mr. Jacobs, explained that Alana liked simple designs, and picked out a custom platinum band with 3 small diamonds, priced at $2,800. I had imagined proposing on our anniversary next month, maybe at the park where we had our first picnic. All of that planning had been invisible to her, and somehow, a secondhand rumor about me looking at rings had terrified her enough to send that message. So, she heard I might propose and decided she was not ready for something serious rather than talk to me about it. I said. She panicked, LaToya repeated. She thought if she said she needed space, it would slow things down without ending it. She honestly believed you would reassure her and tell her you wanted to talk through it. She told me she was not ready. I said. I believed her. That is what people tell you to do, right? Believe someone the first time they tell you they are not ready. I will not apologize for that. LaToya's eyes filled with frustration. She did not think you would respond by packing her life into a storage unit, she said. She thought you cared enough to fight for her. I do not fight people to keep me, I said. If she is not sure, she is not for me. I picked up my towel and walked away. That night, I canceled my membership at that gym and joined another one across town. I was not afraid of running into her or LaToya. I was simply tired of living in spaces that had become extensions of her drama. Friday evening, I received a call from a number I did not recognize. Hello, I said. Hey, Jared, this is Damien from Alana's office, the voice said. We met once at the holiday party, remember? I remember you, I said. I also remembered standing across the room, watching him make her laugh a little too easily. What do you need? I just want to talk to you about Alana, Damien said. She's really struggling. She has been missing work. She cannot focus. It is getting bad, and we are worried. Those are consequences, I said. I did not ask her to end things the way she did. That is harsh, Damien said. She made a mistake, and you are acting like she committed a crime. She did commit a crime, I said. She keyed my car. There is a police report. Damien hesitated. I did not know that part, he said quietly. Still, she is in a lot of pain. I thought maybe if you two could just talk, you might find some middle ground. Who are you to her exactly? I asked. I am a friend, Damien said after a pause. We work together. Just a friend, I repeated. Interesting, because before the breakup, I saw her phone records once when we were troubleshooting a bill. You, and she texted every single day, multiple times at night. That is a lot of conversation for just a friend. There was a longer pause this time. We work closely, Damien said. We collaborate on projects. Then you can keep collaborating, I said. You can comfort her. You can listen to her talk about how unfair I am. That is not my role anymore. I ended the call without waiting for an answer. Later that night, I logged into a social media account I kept under an old username and searched for Alana. Her profile was public. She had posted a long message about toxic masculinity and how some men cannot handle mature conversations about relationship needs and punish women for stating boundaries. The comments were split. Some people agreed with her without knowing any details. Others asked what actually happened. One of her cousins, Jasmine, commented, "He moved all her things out like she was trash over one text. 3 years gone." Someone else replied, "What did the text say?" Jasmine wrote, "She told him she needed space to think, that she was not ready yet. That is it." A random person commented, "Then he gave her space. What's the problem?" Jasmine replied, "Not that kind of space." The same random person responded, "Then she should have been clearer." Within an hour, Alana deleted the entire post. The internet had not given her the unanimous validation she expected. Saturday, Candace showed up at my door with a cardboard drink holder and a bag of food. I saw her through the peephole and considered not answering, but curiosity won. I opened the door halfway. "I brought coffee and bagels," Candace said. "Peace offering." "I did not want it," I said. "5 minutes," she said. "Please." I stepped aside, and she walked in, setting the coffee and bag on the counter. She looked around the apartment, taking in the absence of her sister's things. "It looks different," she said quietly. "It looks like my place again," I said. "What do you want, Candace?" "She is my sister," Candace said. "She is hurting, and you could fix it. I am here because I care about both of you. I know she handled things badly. I'm not going to pretend she did everything right. But you are acting like there is no room for mistakes at all." She said she was not ready. I replied. I believed her. If she meant something else, she had plenty of time to say so before sending that message. "You are being stubborn," Candace said. She panicked. She thought she was about to lose control of her life. She has seen marriages fall apart. She has seen people stay in relationships they were not ready for, and she did not want that. She was trying to protect herself. She was free to protect herself, I said. I respected her decision. That is not stubbornness. That is taking someone at their word. "She wants you back," Candace said. "She told me she knows she made a mistake. People make mistakes when they are scared, and they need grace. She should have thought about what she wanted before she told me she was not ready for something serious," I said. "I'm not interested in being someone's backup plan when their experiment does not work out." Candace's expression hardened. "You are going to regret this one day," she said. "Maybe," I said, "but I doubt it." She left the coffee and bagels on the counter. After she walked out, I threw them away. I was not hungry. Sunday morning, my brother Malcolm called. "Jared, I just received a long message from Alana's sister," he said. "You might want to know what she is sending around." "What did it say?" I asked. "She said you were being abusive and controlling," Malcolm said slowly. "That you isolated Alana from her friends and family, and now you are punishing her for trying to set boundaries. Do you believe that?" I asked. "Not for a second," Malcolm said. "I have seen you two together. I know how many family events you attended on her side. I'm just giving you a heads up. She is reaching out to everyone with that story." "Thank you," I said. Over the next 2 days, I received 13 similar messages from various friends and acquaintances, all saying that Alana or someone in her family had contacted them. I responded the same way to each person. She texted me after 3 years, saying she was not ready for something serious. I respected that and moved her things out. She is angry that I did not fight for her. That is the entire story. Most people stopped asking questions after that. Tuesday evening, my mother called. Your ex's mother is in my driveway, she said, irritation in her voice. She says she will not leave until I make you see reason. Call the police, I said. Are you certain? My mother asked. Yes, I said. She is trespassing. She has no reason to be at your house. My mother called the police. Patricia left before they arrived, but the officers documented the incident. That night, I received one more text from yet another new number. You need to stop contacting me, my family, my friends, and my workplace. I wrote. Stop showing up at our homes and my building. This is your only warning. Any further contact will result in a restraining order. A minute later, a reply came. Who is this? Then, you know who this is. This is not over until I say it is over. I took a screenshot and sent it to Attorney Robinson. His response. Perfect. If we need to file, we have clear evidence of ongoing harassment. For more days passed with no contact. 6 weeks had gone by since the original message. I was beginning to believe the storm might finally be fading when everything came to a head. On Friday afternoon, I was scrolling my phone during lunch when I saw a post from Damien. A photo of him and Alana at a restaurant, leaning close together, smiling in a way that looked practiced. The caption read, finally ready to be serious. I stared at it for a solid minute. Then I laughed. This time, the laughter was real. I took a screenshot and sent it to Reggie. You called it, I texted. Reggie replied, called what? I sent the image. After a moment, he replied, that is Damien from our office. I told you something felt off. How long do you think that was happening? I asked. Before the breakup, Reggie wrote back. Definitely before. An hour later, Latoya texted me from another new number. Before you hear it from someone else, she wrote. I already saw. I answered. It is not what it looks like, she replied. I do not care what it looks like, I wrote. They only started dating after you two ended things, she said. Save it. I replied. Then I blocked that number. That night, Candace called from yet another number. I answered because I wanted to hear what excuse she would try this time. I know what you were thinking, Candace said quickly. You think you were right about him the whole time. It is not like that. She texted me asking for space so she could test another relationship without officially cheating. I said, I understand it perfectly. That is not true, Candace said. Then why did she need space? I asked. Why did she suddenly decide she was not ready for something serious after 3 years? Because she wanted to see if the grass was greener, Candace said finally, her voice low. Exactly, I said. She wanted to see if someone else made her feel more excited than the person she had been building a life with. She did not want to be honest about it, so she wrapped it in the language of space and boundaries. It turns out it was not greener, Candace said. He is not who she thought he was. He does not show up the way you did. He does not answer the phone in the middle of the night when she calls. He does not drive her across the state to see her mother. He does not remember how she takes her coffee. That is unfortunate, I said. For her. She realizes she made a mistake, Candace said. She wants to talk to you. She wants you back. She says she finally understands what you meant about words matching. The mistake was waiting 3 years to show me who she really is, I said. She is not confused anymore. She is revealed. That is not something I can unsee. Can you please? Candace started. No, I said, and ended the call. On Sunday morning, Patricia called again from yet another number. I almost admired the persistence. I hope you are pleased with yourself, she said. You broke her. She broke herself, I said. That man took advantage of her vulnerability, and you let it happen, Patricia said. You pushed her into his arms by being so cold. I did not push her anywhere, I said. She walked. She was already leaning in that direction when she texted me. I simply stepped aside. She was confused, Patricia said. She thought you were going to propose and panicked. She made bad decisions. She knows that now. She thought I was going to propose because I said, that is not a crime. You keep using confused like it is a magic word that cancels out choices. So you admit she was scared, Patricia said quickly, like she had won a point. I admit she was scared, I said. It does not change anything. She said she was not ready. She was right. She was not ready for me. She was ready for someone else. That is her path, not mine. She hates him, Patricia said. She wants you. She wants to come home. It does not matter what she wants anymore, I said. My door is closed. You are cruel, Patricia said. I am honest, I replied. There is a difference. I ended the call and blocked that number. Again, Tuesday night, I received one last message from a number I did not recognize. This time, it was her. I know you probably hate me now, Alana wrote. I know I ruined everything. I know you were going to propose, and I freaked out. I know I handled it in the worst way possible. I know I am with someone else now, and that makes it even worse. But I need you to know that it was all a mistake. He was a mistake. The text was a mistake. Every choice I made was wrong. You were right about him. You were right about everything. I am so sorry. I miss you. I miss us. Please, can we just talk? I read it 3 times. Then I replied, you want to take a step back? I took several steps back to 0. Your voicemail saying you did not mean a breakup came too late. You made your choices. You will live with them. Then I blocked that number as well. The ring I bought had been sitting in the back of my closet, hidden inside a shoebox behind a stack of old tax documents. On Monday morning, I took it out and looked at it under the kitchen light. It was still beautiful, still the exact style I knew she would have loved months ago. It simply did not belong to my future anymore. I drove downtown to the jewelry store. Mr. Jacobs recognized me. I wish you were back under different circumstances, he said gently. What happened? It did not work out, I said. I need to return it. He examined the ring, checked his records, and typed into the computer. I can offer you 74% of the original price, he said. That comes to $2,100. I nodded. That is acceptable. He processed the refund. The money went onto my card. That afternoon, I used it to pay off my credit card balance. Watching the statement drop to 0 felt better than any proposal would have. It felt like closing a door, but also like opening a window. On Wednesday, I changed my phone number. I went to the carrier's store, filled out the paperwork, and walked out with a device that no longer buzzed with unknown numbers connected to her. I only gave the new number to people who had proven they belonged in my life. My family, a few close friends, my boss, my attorney. The silence that followed was different now. It was not the silence of waiting for a message. It was the silence of finally being left alone. I changed my route to work, so I no longer passed the places we used to stop for coffee. I switched to a different grocery store across town, not because I was afraid of seeing her, but because I was finished with the aisles that held old arguments and old laughter. Even so, life is a way of testing your resolve. 2 weeks after changing my number, I was at that new grocery store, standing in the produce section comparing apples, when I heard, Jared. I turned. Alana stood a few feet away, holding an empty basket. She looked smaller somehow, her eyes shadowed, her hair pulled back in a simple ponytail. She walked toward me. Hey, she said softly. I turned back to the apples and started moving toward the next aisle. Please, just 1 minute, she said. I stopped and faced her. What? I asked. I'm sorry for everything, Alana said. Truly, I was wrong about all of it. About being scared, about him, about you. You did not deserve any of this. Okay, I said. She blinked. Is that all you're going to say? What else is there to say? I asked. You could say that you forgive me, Alana said. That we can try again. That we can start over. We have history. We have 3 years. That has to count for something. I did not forgive you, I said. And no, we cannot try again. Her eyes filled with tears. Why not? She whispered. Because you waited until I was proven right about your coworker to decide I was worth keeping. I said, that is not love. That is convenience. You did not choose me when you had me. You chose to see if someone else was better and try to keep me as a safety net. That is not fair, she said. Nothing about this has been fair. You texted me after 3 years saying you were not ready for something serious. I said. 2 weeks later, you were with him. You called it space. I called it ending things. I responded accordingly. I made a mistake, she said. Yes, you did, I said. And you received exactly what you asked for. Space. Permanent space. I turned and walked away. This time, she did not follow me. When I got home, I set my keys on the counter and waited for regret or sadness or some heavy wave of nostalgia to crash over me. It did not come. What came instead was a steady, simple calm. 3 years feels like a long time when you are in it, But you know what feels worse? 3 years and 1 day with the wrong person. Or 4 years. Or 10 years and a divorce. She had shown me clearly who she was when she faced the prospect of commitment. It took me 6 weeks to fully believe her, but I had finally caught up. The trash, as the saying goes, had taken itself out. I had only made sure the locks were changed before it tried to come back in. Reggie called that night. So, he asked, "Are you ready to start dating again?" "Not really," I said. "Still attached to her?" he asked. "No," I said. "I am done making someone a priority who made me an option. That is all." "That sounds like growth," Reggie said. "Maybe," I said. "It just feels like being tired of the wrong things." We talked about sports after that, about his new job site, about nothing related to Alana. The conversation felt light, like the kind we used to have before my life became a complicated mess of storage units, lawyers, and block numbers. The storage unit rent ends next week. The contract says that if the unit is not emptied by then, the items inside can be auctioned or donated. I told Attorney Robinson to notify her lawyer one last time that the deadline is approaching. Whatever she has not collected by then will no longer be my responsibility. Her grandmother's necklace, the photo album, the laptop, all of it is waiting behind that metal door, and has been waiting for weeks. She has the code. She has the address. If she does not go, that is another choice she will have to live with. It will not be mine. My apartment smells different now. Without her diffuser, the eucalyptus is gone. The air smells like my own cologne, the spice of the body wash I prefer, the warmth of coffee I brew because I like it, not because it looks good in a social media story. Some nights it smells like leftover pizza or grilled chicken, or the lemon cleaner I use when I actually care enough to scrub the counters thoroughly. The walls are bare in some places where her prints used to hang, but I have started to think about what I want there instead. Maybe art I actually like. Maybe nothing, just space. My routine is mine again. I go to a different gym now where no one knows my history. I run on the treadmill, lift weights, and leave without wondering who might be waiting for me near the water fountain. I shop at a grocery store where no memory reaches out from the shelves. I drive a car with fresh paint on the passenger side, paid for by a body shop that did not ask many questions. At work, I show up, do my job, and go home. My boss has not mentioned the situation again. My family only brings it up when they want to marvel at how determined Alana's family was to rewrite the story. 3 years taught me something simple that I intend to carry into whatever comes next. Words mean things. Actions mean more. When someone tells you they are not ready, believe them the first time. When someone shows you that they see you as an option rather than a choice, believe that too. Alana chose to see whether something else was better. She found out it was not. Now she wants to come back. But bridges do not unburn just because the other side looks worse than it used to. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not hurt. I'm simply done. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, and share this video with your friends. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a powerful story drop.